Okay, so this is the demonstration video on the auto sleeper Chatsworth. So I'll run through the outside first. This front locker is just a storage locker. So that's just access to the inside. I'll just show you how the electric connects. So that's the electric cable, and that's the end that goes into the motorhome. So that lifts up like that and fixes on there with that in the up position. It's hard to do it with one hand. So that's how it looks, and then that cable slides into that groove so that you can then close the door and lock it. Behind that is a mains cable, so if you wanted to connect a mains appliance outside, a heater or whatever. So that's your leisure battery. As we move towards the back, this is the gas locker. So there's 2 gas cylinders in there. You'll need to buy those, so they're 6 kilograms, and then that connects directly onto the bottle, but it's reverse thread. So you're pushing that way and then going in reverse to tighten it. That's an external gas point, so if you wanted a gas heater or a gas barbecue for outside, that's where you connect to the gas bottles, and it's got a bayonet fitting which just pushes into that. We sell those in the shop, and then you connect that piece of tubing that you get with the bayonet fitting onto that pipe and disconnect it by pushing that collar upwards. So when you push the bayonet fitting into there, that collar comes down, and then to release it you're just pushing it up. So this is the bike rack. The way that works is that it folds down, so disconnect it there, fold that down, put the bikes onto here, and those go over the tyres on the bikes. And you'll see in the storage cupboard at the front there's an arm which fixes onto that and then fixes onto the crossbar of the bike as it's mounted onto there. Just to show you the lens for the reverse camera, that's where it is. It just needs to be kept clean, that. So moving on to how you dispose of the toilet waste. So there's an indicator inside to tell you when this is full, but how you empty it is to lift that handle up there, and this just simply slides out. And then it can be carried to the waste disposal point, and it's on wheels. You just extend that handle out. To empty it, you slide this funnel across, take the cap off the end, and as you're pouring away out of this end, press this button in and it lets air in as the liquid is coming out. To put the chemical in, it's into this port here, and you undo that, twist that round, and that opens it up. And that's where you pour your chemical and water into. To slide this back in, just put it on the wheels. It slides back in like that. Got to make sure that that's back in. And that nozzle that I showed you how to open and fill it has to be pointing that way. If it's pointing that way, as in the open position, you won't get the cassette back into its slot. This is where you fill the water. You do so with a hose pipe. Just fill it up until water pours out of it. For draining down, it's important that you drain down in winter. If you're not going to use it, you don't want stagnant water sitting here, but if it freezes in the tank, that's when it can cause damage. So that's the fresh water, the blue. So this is where you filled that, you empty in the tank where you filled this. So that's in the closed position. That's in the open position, so that's draining down the fresh water tank. Everything that goes down the wastewater sink and shower ends up in what they call a grey tank underneath, so that's your waste tank. Similarly, that needs to be drained down as well. So that's in the closed position, that's in the open position, so there's no water in there at the moment. Just moving along, this is an external shower point. in the cupboard at the front, there's a shower head with a hose on it. Take this cap off and connect the other end of the hose to that, and then you've got a shower for outside if you want to. If you need water outside, if you need to wash your feet, or if you've been on the beach or anything, so that's an external shower point. Move on to the inside. So as you enter the door, you're faced with the control panel. So I'll just run through all this with you. Basically, that switches your van on and off. So that's the master switch. So nothing will work unless that's on. Then you've got the option of tank heater. So that will heat the tank. If it's really cold weather conditions, it prevents the tank from freezing. As I said, that is a problem if water freezes in the tank. It can cause damage to the tank. So that switches your pump on. You won't get any water out your taps unless that is switched on. That's the light switch, so pretty self-explanatory, and that's your warning light. Now in the middle there's a gauge, so if you press this, that's telling you about your water situation. So there's actually a full tank of water in this at the moment. As you release that, then that's going to tell you about your battery. So the bottom reading is water, top one is battery. Sorry, other way around. The bottom one is water, the top one is battery. So that's reading 12.5 volts and your water tank's full. When the waste tank is full, this red light here illuminates. So that's when you go out and open up the grey tap. That's telling you that it's got water in it, but it isn't full. When it's full, that red light illuminates. This is the heating system, the control panel for the heating system. So this is the top one, is deals with the water. Get a bit clearer on there. So in that position you can see it's off. Next position is using gas fuel. Next position is using gas and low wattage electric. Next position is using gas and high wattage electric. So if you're on a site that is low ampage, they tell you what the ampage is low, then only use the low. So this, right, let me start from the beginning. That's off. That's that's to prevent it from freezing. So that just keeps it ticking over. That's low wattage electric only. That's medium wattage electric, gas only, gas and low wattage electric, gas and high wattage electric. And it's very similar for the heating as well. So that's in the off position. You're selecting your fuels. So that's gas only, gas and high wattage electric, low wattage electric, high wattage electric, and that's 2 kilowatt electric. So that's going to draw 13 amps. So you just need to be careful about what ampage the site says it is. This deals with the temperature inside the vehicle, so self-explanatory really. If it's too hot, then obviously you bring the temperature down. That's just the night heater, and that just prevents things from freezing. So if you're going out for the day and you just want to leave things ticking over slowly so that the temperature doesn't reach freezing, then you put it on that lowest position there. The heater is housed underneath the driver's seat in this cupboard here. Now the boiler, that's a tank full of water. So in that position where that yellow switch is, that's the usable position. You want to drain down, and you must do this in winter if you're not using it, is to put it in that position, and it drains all the water out of the hot water boiler. There's also a reset button on this, which is that red button there. So if you get a fault on the boiler, press that button and it resets it. So I'll leave it in the drained position. To spin the seats, it's simply a catch on the side. Which is just mounted there. So that locks in position. You just pull that towards the middle and the seat will then spin round. So it locks in the driving position, but it doesn't lock when it's spun round. To make the bed up, it's simply a case of drawing these two sections together into the middle. So you do that on both sides, and then if you pull that into the middle like that, and then drop that one so it's flat, and do that on both sides, that creates your bed. And that's the same for that section there, so it's separated into two sections. You can make one smaller bed and sleep this